guys, if any of you decide to go to Colombia, especially Medellin, there's no hookup culture there per se. So if a woman's very eager to take you home, just be aware it could be a situation of like
Stealing your wallet.
because there's a lot of American men stories about that where they go to like these countries and they go out to the clubs and they pick up women and say, oh damn, she's down, take back to my place. And then what happens is she goes back to your place, she asks for a drink, and then while you're not looking, she puts something in your drink, and then you get knocked out.
Stuff?
And then when you wake up, your whole apartment is cleaned out.
Oh,
so what she does is she drugs you, and then she texts her guy group, is like, oh, okay, come in, and then they barge in, and then just steal all your stuff.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like, isn't it the scopolamine where it's like, it's the stuff where it's like they can like literally like be like open the safe and then you just like do it?
Yeah. This whole situation of where you can be knocked out, but you can also be a situation where your consciousness is knocked out, where you're doing things but you're not aware, and you wake up, you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is the whole organ stealing thing, where they put you in the bath and they take your organs. That's the worst case scenario. Best case, you just get robbed. So be careful, be very diligent. So if a woman's very she's too eager,
it's too good to be true. That's what they
like
say. Like your mom always says growing up, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Something you did really cool, and we totally didn't talk about this like beforehand, but you took like classes on how to become like a very good like bartender cocktail person, didn't you?
Oh yeah, so the story with that is I never really had this idea of, oh, I want to become a bartender or whatever, but one time my friend, he was like, oh, let's go to this cafe, let's work at this cafe, because he also works remote, I work remote, so he was like, oh, let's go take it. I was like, oh sure, why not? It's a cafe I've never been to, and it's like walking distance, so let's go there. So I walk there and we sit down at a table, and literally right across the road from it, I staring at me a building that says professional bartending school, and I was like, you know what, I never thought about that. And I started researching and seeing what it offered, and you know, it was very expensive, but you know, if you know a thing or two about bartending, then you know that it can be very lucrative, especially if you do it on like the weekends. So I was like, you know, this is expensive, but you know, I'll probably get my money back. So, you know what? Why not? Even if I don't decide to be a bartender, it's still a very cool skill to have. So I just did the 5-week once every Saturday. It was like a 9 to 5 kind of class with a break for lunch. And then I graduated, and I started walking around the different bars in my area. And then I walked into one bar. I was like, oh, you know, looking for a bartender. Here's my resume. And I created a whole resume.
Nice.
The thing about bartending resumes, they're very different from like work resumes, because with work resumes, they have to be very professional, very polished, just text, no pictures. Just make sure there's no pictures if you're working for like an office, because pictures are more so for creative jobs. Like say you want to be a web designer, sure. If you want to be a bartender, it's very cool to have a picture and have all this creative wacky design, and have it list, and I give her my resume and be like, I don't have any job experience, but I graduated from the bartending school, and it's also important to know how to advertise yourself, and
you got to sell yourself as almost like a character or an actor, because it's like part of it's the experience. It's not just can you make a drink, it's can you make the people feel at home.
And it's also advertising yourself to have like the skills. You can just say, oh, I attended bartending school, all right. But I say I attended bartending school, and these are the skills that I've developed. I know how to make 120 drinks, and I also have a beer knowledge, liquor knowledge, and I have done these modules. There's some kind of thing called Diageo modules for bartenders, so I have the Diageo modules and this and that. And if you compare, I did a bartending school, and I did a bartending school, and I have all of these skills, then that makes you stand out. And she took a chance, and she hired me, and then I became a bartender, and literally in 1 week, I made back the $600 I paid for bartending school.
Nice.
So it was very advantageous.
Totally. And I feel like that's a great way to meet people. It's also just like a great party trick to have. Like, it's like you go, a friend has a party, and you're the one that knows how to like cut the orange peels the right way and make like the bitters and stuff. Like, I feel like women love that too. It's like a guy's like, oh, here, let me make you a drink. And then they're like, oh, what kind of drink is this? Oh yeah, like I know how to make 1,000,000,001 different drinks. Like, it's a good skill to have. Like, I feel like it's just a good party trick. It makes you just a more well-rounded, fun person as a whole.
Yeah. As soon as I graduated, every time I would visit my mom, she's like, all right, bartender, make me a drink. So she took advantage of that very quickly, and she loves margaritas. So nice. I made her so many margaritas that I'm just a pro. I'm just like, oh, margarita.